Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, today we are on 5th Canadian Support Base Gagetown, which is just above where I live. And this is one of my favorite places to go hunting. So there's some procedures obviously to come in here and to do this. And one of the things you need to do is find out what zones are open and available for recreation. So back when this place was expropriated, I believe it was in the 50s, one of the agreements was that civilians would be able to use it for recreation within reason. And I'm going to back up a little bit more here. One of the things you can do for recreation on base is hunt. So here I am. Now, one of my main reasons for coming today is I want to try out my new Vortex Razor HD spotting scope. So one of the things I bought with it was a window mount, and let's see if we can't break my window. And I brought my camera too, just in case we see something neat. But I should be putting my orange on before I get any guns or anything out. I am here with my new 6.5 Seiko. So we'll be doing, if I see any coyotes, they'll be pleasantly surprised they will. So, the new Vortex, their big one, I've been hunting ever since I was old enough to go with my father, who got me into it, my brother and I. So obviously before he would take us out, he would have a gun, we wouldn't. But to get us into hunting, and he definitely did get us into hunting. It's one of my favorite things to do for recreation and for relaxing, really. So the only problem with hunting is if you really are into gear, it gets expensive. So here we are. So just setting up the Vortex window spotting scope mount, whatever you want to call it. I think you can use it for binoculars as well. So just setting that up on my spotting scope, and I want to check it out. It's got a very large objective lens, 85 millimeters, which lets more light in. And then they have a very clear optical lenses. Not as good as there are some other manufacturers out there that make some higher end stuff, or more expensive. I don't know about higher end, but more expensive for sure. But the problem is they are, in many cases, double the price of this. And that would be more than I want to spend. Get this down far enough that I can use it. It's going to be it. And it does work a long way away. I should have got the straight eye cup. To show you where I'm looking. I'm looking over at that ridge over there, and it's bringing everything into detail. This ridge, the closest one. Let's see what it looks like way down the way here. So what a spotting scope like this does is it lets a lot more light in so that you can see objects more clearly. At high power. And it does that for sure. So we can spot a long way with this guy in glass areas. I bought it for out here because this is where I'm going to coyote hunt. The only issue is lately the base. So I was talking about expropriation. So they've agreed to allow people to use it for recreation, but you have to call ahead or risk not knowing what's open. They've got the place all zoned off with different zones, and as they do exercises and training and things, obviously they don't want civilians anywhere near that stuff. So for both security reasons and for safety reasons. So at times the base isn't open or available. Here we go. Oh yeah. See a long way with this. I am currently looking. I don't know how many kilometers away. Anyway, I'm looking as far as you can see. The field's way down there. And it's clear. Let me see if I can that is the field. Way down there. Well, the far field, this thing goes to 4.5 kilometers, roughly, and it won't register. Those trees, those two spruce trees in this closest ridge, at the bottom of the closest ridge, they're 1,200 meters, 1.2 kilometers away. So I'm guessing we're out 4 or 5 kilometers to those far fields, and the spotting scope's bringing them in nicely. So anyway, I'm gonna go look for tracks and look for animals. Yeah, the Razor rangefinder in conjunction with that spotting scope and the scope. I've got a Viper on the rifle. They all kind of, when I put the rangefinder in meters, they all work in conjunction. Now my spotting scope obviously doesn't have any reticles in it for ranging, and that's why I've got the spotter. The spotting scope was one of the first things I bought. Then the rifle scope, which is in MRADs, so I set my my range finder to meters and use a scope in meters and do my MRAD calculations and stuff. It clicks that way. And the spotting scope is to check stuff out at distance. So far it's working. So I'm going to keep on keeping on here and see if we can find some dogs or some rabbits.